Hi all, welcome back to more of the other side of the hill solo. This is my part 15, so still getting a little bit more done just now. Um, right, nothing more to talk about. Like I say, I'm building up the videos now, so I've not watched back things, so hopefully no major mistakes. Well, hopefully no mistakes really, but well, we did kind of make a little glitch there with the attack in the Middle East, and I forgot about I had two objectives. That's like I need to place the pawns out on all the cards so that I at least brings it to my attention. No major harm done, although I did start the Western offensive, didn't I, by drawing a card, but anyway, we'll see what happens here. Right, so that's where we're on, Western offensive. No landings, like we say, still. So combat pawns. Right, so there's going to be something in Turkey. Which we don't want to retreat because we're going to lose that resource. There's a resource there, and yeah, I mean there's going to be something in Middle East because you've got Egypt and Iraq, Iran adjacent. Right, hold on. The first bit is you should look at as disputed, shouldn't you? But we're not. We've got a no offensive marker in there, which I'm now cringing about putting it in there. But well, I mean, it would have meant this was vulnerable as well. But I feel like this is weak anyway, isn't it? So they two in there are because these are adjacent. Outside's controlled area adjacent to a western controlled area. So is this. That'll be it. Yeah, that'll be it. So it's just A2. So and of course, now we're not getting this white dice because they knocked us down to 4. I mean, there is a chance that they'll draw an aircraft result and when they knock that down anyway, but so does it really matter which one we do first? Not really, no. I don't believe. Right, okay, let's just do the attack in Turkey then. And this one's not getting... Well, it's going to get a leading general. It's not got an EG head. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, possibly putting Rommel in there. Right, let's do this one first then. So we draw a combat card. Yeah, okay. So they're attacking this time. 1941, so it's similar. It might have been an airplane in 3, wasn't it? Well, it'll be the last card that's up there. It was an airplane in 3 that we drew before. So not quite so bad for us. But yeah, I did feel like that was the right way to deal with that. So an aircraft and 2 dice. So then we pick our generals. I forgot. We still got Kesselring. So Kesselring. Let's roll 1 grey instead of a white. We're not getting the benefit from them then, are we? Because we're not getting the white dice from the air naval control. Oh, mind you, it's in rough he's in rough terrain. Defending in rough terrain. Well, I mean, I've not got a white army, reduced army anyway. So anyway, he's our OB, and then Recknow, isn't that? As our AG. That's rerolling 1 ally combat die, and then we also now need a leading general. Oops. Alright, so let me go and find one. Alright, so yeah, again, we looked at this, didn't we? The only one that's going to do anything is Von Kleist. Defending in any add +1 hit to each Axis combat roll. They're only rolling 2 dice though, so it feels wasteful. I mean, yes, they could get 2 hits. Oh, no, I've remembered. I was thinking about it there. Oh, and that means we're getting an extra white dice. Kesselring's going to affect it. We're going to be defending in rough. Yeah, could be one of these things you've easily forgotten, I think. I was looking around just now, wondering, have I maybe done this before? I don't think so. I feel like this is probably the first time I've had a combat in rough. I might be wrong, but So yeah, we're defending rough, which gives us an extra white dice, doesn't it? I think. I'm going to go with the combat cards again. I do like having them up there. Defending in rough is a +1. For the allies, it'd be an allied die roll. For us, it's a white die, which is going to be upgraded to a grey die because of Kesselring. So that's excellent. Right, just have that page open like that. Right, okay. So I think we're going to use Kleist then. I'm going to keep him. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like I need to use them just now. Oh, we got 2 guaranteed hits, and we've got a white. And well, it's going to be a grey dice, so I'm feeling confident now. We certainly can't lose the combat. We could draw it, which is attrition for us. So, and then I've got Rommel, which I'm possibly going to use here. We're not defending in rough there though, are we? So I'll keep Rommel handy. So, well, hang on, you need somebody, Grant. You need somebody. I'm just going to put Ham, I think. I think I'm going to start using up some of the 7s, so it gets me down to the 6s and the possible use of the 5s, maybe. I don't know if that's smart or not. Right, yeah. Okay. I'm just going to use this guy, who's not going to do anything for us. Right, and then I'm going to keep Rommel handy for the next attack in the Middle East. Yeah, in the Middle East. We were doing the Turkey one just now. Okay, that's me, got my generals. So, allies are rolling 2 dice, but first of all, they roll the special effect dice, which is roll 1 Western dice. If at least 1 aircraft is rolled, -1 air naval control front. There was only 1 aircraft, so there's only 1 dice getting rolled here. So we don't like to see an aircraft. And we don't see an aircraft. Excellent. It's just that, isn't it? If at least 1 aircraft is rolled, right, yeah. Feeling like they need to look at that. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. So nothing doing there. So now they are, for their combat roll, they're going to be rolling 2 dice, which was what was on the card. They're the attackers. They've not got air naval control bonus. The adjacency. No, there's no adjacency. There's no +1s there in that area. There's not that many of these. There's 1 there. There's 1 there. Fact, you know what? Is there any on the Soviet side? No. I think that's only 2 I can see. This one here, and this one here. Oh, there is a Soviet one over here. Well, 3 is all I can see, so there's not that many of them. Well, I'm missing it. Or not, so no extra dice for them, so they're rolling 2 Western dice. And I've got the 2 hats. Oh. Right, so they've got 2 hats. And so now over to us. So we're rolling 2 black dice for the 2 Panzer armies. We're defending in rough, so we would normally get an extra white dice. However, Kesselring says roll 1 additional grey die instead of a white die. So I'm going to get a grey die as well. Our air naval control is not on the 5 boat, so we're not getting a +1 for that. Paratroops, we're not going to use. So we're hoping this grey dice isn't going to let us down. Because I don't want to use this card. So it might well be that we take an attrition if it comes to that. Right, here we go. Let's hope the grey dice works. Or, no, tanks aren't going to work either, are they? Yes, good. Yeah, it was a grey dice we needed. It's the artillery, which is still counts as a hit, doesn't it? We did get a tank. So, that's the results. So yeah, we've got 3, haven't we? Tanks only scoring 1. Artillery guns only scoring 1, and then the hits 1. Yeah, 3 hits to 2. Good. So I didn't need. Now I forgot. I forgot we could have re-rolled one of these. Now, the designer had given me permission to roll. The thing is, I forgot about it not rolled, and now I'm happy that I didn't roll. Because if I did roll, I could have ended up with this or this. But you know what? I would have rolled, wouldn't I? I would have re-rolled that. So I'm gonna do that. Because if I knew they had 2 hits and we were rolling 2 black dice and the possibility of only getting a draw here, I would have re-rolled one of these. So I'm gonna do that. I know it's sort of, yeah, it's not in my favour, this, but because I forgot. Well, you could say, well, you forgot. Nah, I'm going to re-roll it, because I would have done that. Right, see, so now we've got the airplane result. Okay, so that means that takes a hit. And we're fine. Yeah, that was kind of the honest way to do it. I mean, yeah, no, it was a genuine I forgot bit moment. But let's just say, well, if my die roll result had been that, right, and that was their result, I would have says, oh, I forgot to re-roll the dice for Reckonow. And I'd feel like I couldn't do it then, you know. Hi all, right, I'm back with this part 15, I think it is. See, it was about 12 minutes or so in there. I got cut off there, and I've been away for quite a few days. There also might be, when I was laying the camera down, I was still recording, and a glitch, sort of, you might just see a blue background. I'll try and edit it out. It's only a few seconds, but if I've not edited it out, you've watched through it just now, but it's only a few seconds. Yeah, so I left things like this, and yeah, I shouldn't have re-rolled this, should I? Now, have I gave myself the hit for this? I have, haven't I? We're in the Southern Front. I don't even know where this combat is, you know that? Is it the one in Turkey? Or is it the other one? Well, that should tell you your generals here. So we've got Kesselring, who's the OB. Reckonow is in Turkey, right enough, yeah. So it is in Turkey. So, yeah, that was, the die roll result was this, wasn't it? And this. That's what I rolled for them. Then I rolled for that for us, forgetting that I could have re-rolled one of these dice. So I forgot, but I thought, they've got 2 hits, and we've rolled these dice, found out we've got, I think this is a 2, isn't it? We're attacking into planes, are we? No, hang on, we're getting attacked, Grant. You're in defence here. The attack is in Esrom, which is rough. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not planes. So that's 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 hits, they've got 2. So I don't need to re-roll one of these. But I shouldn't have had this information yet. And I should have been looking at these 2, wonder if I'd re-roll. But I genuinely forgot about it. So I decided to re-roll this. Ended up with that result. I'm thinking, well, that's fair enough. That's what I would have done, because with 2 hits, it was a wee bit risky. I might have ended up with a tie, because if I had got, this, I would have only got 2 hits against their 2 hits, and then I would have been kicking myself because I hadn't re-rolled. But, if the result was, I think I said, if it was this, and I had re-rolled, and I had rolled this, then forgot and said, oh, I need to re-roll one of these because I would have genuinely re-rolled that because of this possibility, I would feel bad about going back and re-rolling that. So, to be honest, I forgot this and I should have just left. I should have left that like that and just had their 2 hits. Because I forgot. If that happens in the future, I'm going to leave it. Because I can't sort of say, well, I would have re-rolled these, and then looked at it the other way and said, well, I would have re-rolled these, and then it looks kind of bad. So I should have just left it. However, we'll let go this time. So I'm pretty sure they must have taken the hit, because I'm sure I had that at 4. So I'm pretty sure I've taken the hit on that. I'll watch back the footage anyway, and I can adjust it if need be, because I'm only going to get this little part done anyway today. So, the actual results were this then, weren't they? But yeah, if that happens again, I'm just going to have to say, well, Grant, you forgot, you passed that step now, even though that the designer has allowed me to roll all the dice at the same time, then decide. I'm going to stick by my guns with that one. But there's the other thing about that. You're not going to forget to re-roll, you know? If you do roll all the dice at the same time, well, I could still forget at this stage, but I would like to think I'm going to realise, hold on, I can now re-roll one of these 2 dice, but however, anyway. Right, but apart from that, so we've took the air hit, and I'm pretty sure I've done it. Like I say, I will just double check, or if it comes to matter while I'm still on this part, I'll go and check, but I think I've taken the hit on that. So the results are, we've got 3 hits, they've got 1. We're defending, remember, so just nothing happens, and that's combat over. I can put the dice back, and we can also get rid of the generals and that combat card. So that combat card goes away. We may be using Kesselring again shortly. Reckon goes to the in command. And the other general that we used, I think he was just he was doing nothing anyway. He's been activated, so he goes in that pile. And Kesselring, I'll put that there just now. We're just about to move on to the next combat, although I suppose it might not be a combat. Yeah, and I was watching back over this sort of messy situation, and we've got away with that one. Well, we took an air hit, but this one's risky, really, you know. So. But then again, that no Western offensive mark, I wasn't able to put that in there, so it would have been in there. However, if I had it in there, then this Panzer army would be in here too, wouldn't it? I would have advanced 2 of the armies. So, I don't know if that was a bad thing or not. Now, should I stop here to talk about this issue? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to ask this question on BGG, although Martin seems to believe, this was from part 13, I think, and it's when I was doing my movement, and there was a wee bit of glitch in the video, if I recall rightly, but I think I explained what I was doing, and the issue was, he's got it at the 52.5-minute mark. Well, let me just read what he says. He says, I had a discussion with Notebook LN, and it's adamant that you can't move an army twice using operational movement. Right, I don't know what Notebook LM is, but I think it's one of these AI sort of... Is it not one of these things that you can... You know what, I don't really know. It's something that's maybe scours the rulebook, and you ask it questions and it'll give you the answers. I think. Is it something like that? Anyway, it's adamant that you can't move an army twice using operational movement, and I want to say I was wondering about it, but I sort of just believed it to be okay. However, I mean, he's had a discussion with some kind of AI system. Well, he's obviously not 100% clear himself, but feels like it seems a bit wrong. I'll carry on. He says, personally, I find the wording in 4.21 ambiguous. Let me get up 4.21, which is operational movement. But I agree that it's a bit strange that you, for example, could move an army from the southern front to the western front and continue moving, but not the other way around in that same turn. he said not the other way around, and at first I replied to him, yeah, I think you could be right here, Martin. We'll try and get around to asking on BGG when I get the chance. So I might pop this question up there for Carlos to have a look at. But then after thinking about what he said about me being able to do it one way and then not the other, well, couldn't I? Right. Well, what happened was, I moved that satellite army, which was in the southern front, northern Italy, and I moved it into southern France. And the reason it can move from front to front in the operational movement is because it's adjacent. So I did that. I then ended my southern front operational movement, went on to the western front operational movement, and then carried on moving that. So, yeah, that does sound like that might be a bit iffy. And maybe not allowed. However, it's obviously not clear in 4.2.1, or Martin would have just highlighted the rule that said that you can do that, which he's not. I've not read through 4.21 just yet. Like I say, I'm just back now, been away for a few days and whatever. But what he was saying was, it's strange that you could do it that way and then not the other way, but it could just as easily been a move from the western front to the southern front. And then, with the Western Front operational movement, then I move on to the Southern Front operational movement and move that further. And in fact, yeah, you've got to feel like there maybe is a restriction here. Because we've got all three fronts together here. What if I've got an army in here, and I move it from here, we end our Western Front operational movement, move on to our Southern Front operational movement, move that from there to there. Then we move on, we end our Southern Front operational movement, move on to the Eastern Front operational movement, and then move that unit away somewhere over there somewhere. That feels wrong, doesn't it? Well, what does 4.2.1 say then? Operational movement, this is on page 15. I don't know if I can maybe get this on here. Maybe it's going to be a strange angle again, so I don't know if that helps or not. Operational movement allows players to move armies within a front. Okay, but there is and also yeah, it's this bottom. It's the last paragraph. But let's read through it then. Operational movement allows players to move armies within a front. Operational movement is conducted one front at a time. The head of operations activates one front and carries out all the actions in that front before activating the next front. A front cannot be activated twice in the same movement segment, right? That all seems fair. The maximum number of armies that may be moved in a front is determined by the space occupied by the air naval control marker in that front's box. Yeah, fair enough. And the third paragraph is, the head of operations may move armies from any area to any other area in the same front with an access control disk, even if the area is neutral. The origin and destination area need not be adjacent. Armies cannot be moved to or from areas with an isolated marker. You cannot move armies to bases. Right, and then the last one is what we did, because we ended up moving from a front to a front. It says, additionally, the head of operations may move armies from one area in a front to an adjacent area in a different front with an access control disk, even if the area is neutral. These movements count against the movement limit in the starting front. So there's nothing there to say. I don't think there is anything there to say that what I did was wrong. It does feel kind of strange, doesn't it? It kind of feels odd. Stacking limit, I'm just looking at the movement segment. Yeah, there's nothing. There's really nothing there that's saying that it is wrong. But I do actually believe that he could be right, and that's not allowed. There's something feels strange about it. Like I say, I could move right now if I went in my movement now. I mean, I've just said it all, I suppose. I can move this reduced army into here. Then I could move it into here with the Southern Front operational movement, and then I could move it somewhere else in the thing, because these are all adjacent. And that sort of feels wrong. I probably do need to pop this question out there, I think. Is it relevant to anything that we're doing just now, just to try and get this bit wrapped up? Probably. Yeah, I think I'll just carry on, because, I mean, was it only that army that may have caused the issue? I believe it was. I believe it was the only army that crossed fronts, didn't I? So I think this might not be allowed to be where it is. What will that then mean? To keep things simple, I may well just put it back here and leave one of them in there, because they moved from there to there, didn't they? Oh yeah, no, and then I remembered, I don't know if I spoke about this, but I think I was forgetting about the fact that you don't need to be adjacent to move these. You know, if I've got control of that area and control of that area, I can move from there to there. You know, as long as they're in the same front. Like these, for instance, could move into here. They don't need to be. Well, actually, that's not adjacent. Greece is not adjacent to that anyway, Grant. So, anyway, you know what I mean. It's like I need to remember that it's not just adjacency there. Yeah, I think I'll just push on now from where I am and try and get this phase and possibly this turn finished. Although I think we've got military directives to look at, so yeah, and we succeeded at both of them, didn't we? I think. Okay, well, let's resolve this combat here then first. We've done another one, so well, we need to draw a card, don't we? Now we don't have an AG head. Now, does our OB Sud still help here then? Well, let's draw a combat card just in case it's a no combat. Although, like I say, we're in 1941 now. I know, I mean, it could well be you just get an event. It's possible. Right, so draw a combat card. Here we go. 1941. Yeah, no. Oh, well, no, it's not going to be a combat. So, it's 1941. They're on the attack. There's 2 aeroplane symbols, which just means that we roll 2 Western dice. And if at least 1 aircraft is rolled, the air naval control on that front is reduced by 1. And because there's no number there, there's not going to be a combat. So that's all we're going to do with that card, and we can discard it. And, well, let's just roll. Let's see if we can get luckier here with the dice roll. We cannot. No, so they do hit us again on that front. Which is, you know, I'm sort of annoyed with myself because after realising, I don't think I should have reduced this. But anyway, I've decided to. Well, I'm actually thinking here that maybe I shouldn't. Oh, you know what? You did go back and roll the dice, Grant. But you can see what I'm saying there. I went back and rolled the dice only because it's something I would have done. But, yeah, if I then rolled my dice and then said, oh, but I would have re-rolled the dice, kind of, I didn't have the hits. Yeah, I wouldn't have felt comfortable re-rolling that. That's why I felt like I shouldn't have done it. Well. Just leave it. Right, okay, so that comes off. That's him done. Yeah, that's it. So no combat there, so that was good. That was good that we now got that there. I mean, we took 2 hits on our air and naval control there. Yeah, maybe it should have been 1, but anyway. That was the only 2 combats, so let's move on. So Soviet offensive, there's not any. And then moving on, military directive subjective check. Right, I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to just go and try and pop out a question here about that movement thing, though. See if I can get some reply. It'd have to come kind of quick. Well, if it doesn't come quick, I don't think it'll affect the rest of this playthrough anyway. Oh yeah, and I've got to remember about that card, eh? Yeah, if we do need to hit. Okay, just let me pause for a second. I'm going to go and post that question. Okay, so I was about to go and ask a question, and then I thought, better have a little glance just in case it's somebody else has asked it and it's out there. And yeah, the question had been asked. The question was, can he move an army from France to northern Italy to Yugoslavia, just doing each operational movement in turn? And the answer was, by the designer Carlos, yes, you can do that. He said it's usually better. It's usually a better idea to use strategic movement to do it, but it was fine to do it. And yeah, I mean, we moved an army from here into here, and then from there into there. No, hold on. No, I mean, no, I think that still answers the question, doesn't it, Martin? I suppose the way he was asking, he was saying, can I move an army from here to here, which is fine, and then from here to here, which is fine, because they're moving at different fronts. But is that any different from me moving from here to here and then from there to there? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Unless I'm picking up the wrong end of anything there, you can let me know, Martin. I think I'm going to leave that and I think it's okay. I'm going to let it go. Right, okay. Let's push on. Right, so military directives check, yeah? So let's look at the first one, which was Operation Anton, invasion of Vichy. Prerequisite was that, activate that, special, right, that. So objectives as Marseille has been taken. We have Marseille, we've got full control of southern France. When we activated it, triggered northern France, didn't it? Become Allied control with Vichy. And then the sort of reward, the success there is the air naval control and the southern front +1. Oh, well, that's good, we're getting one back then. So air naval control on the southern front goes up by +1. Good. And that's all that happens with that, isn't it? Yeah, but I was saying, well, that's at first when I read it, I thought, if that's all that happens, it's a bit weak, but it's a way of allowing you to take southern France, you know. So, and not only that, it then opens the door to go into Spain. Okay, so that's that one done. There's no playing that card again, which, however, this other one that we're going to check is a different story. So it was Fall Orient 1, invasion of the Middle East. Prerequisite was actually controls Egypt or Turkey, which it confused me a little bit. That, well, not so much that bit, but the bit that you can use areas 16 or 28. But you can see this is this can come back again. This isn't going to be discarded because this also would now allow us. I mean, we've taken Damascus, which is here, so we succeeded there. But now this card could come back and be used to attack area 28, which is Egypt. So that's why there's the option to bring this one back. The rewards for this again, air naval control in the southern front +1 as well. So maybe just as well. Well, to be honest, if I hadn't knocked it down 2 and only 1, we would have been. Well, we were definitely taking 1 hat, so that's fine. That's fine. So it's back up to 4. That's good. Makes me feel a bit better about that then. And then, like I say, my take on this is that this can come back. Now, where is that symbol? Must be somewhere. But that's the point of that, so that I can then go and attack. I could go for Egypt. Give me a second. I can't find that symbol throughout the rulebook. I'm pretty sure it's there, the wee recycle symbol. Through the rulebook I'm looking at. So I kind of just wanted to double check that, just to. I'm pretty sure it must be here, mentioned somewhere. But if I look at the military directives part, I don't think it's just military directives alone that look at that icon. But I could be wrong, I suppose. Project cards. I want to say I feel like we've even used it already, but maybe I'm wrong with that. So military directive segment. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing that symbol there at all. I'm looking right through the rulebook. Even on the player aid card, it's got to be here. It's got to be here. I'm for sure not saying that. Yeah, you think I can find that? No, I can't find that. Recycle, if I looked up the index for recycle, I don't think I'm going to get anything. No. No, I'm going to just assume that that's what that is. It must definitely be in the rulebook. I'm convinced of that one, but just not sure we are. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this back in the pile, and we can select this again. So hopefully that's right. If it turns out I'm getting all that wrong, then somebody will probably tell me. Okay, that's our military. Yeah, there must be a military directive check, Grant. I looked at that already though. Hang on, if the objectives have been achieved. If all the objectives in the active military directive card have been achieved, apply the effects in its success block as explained in section 80D below, then discard the military directive card. So maybe yeah, that's why has it got that icon? Because we did succeed. We took Damascus. That was on the card. Oh, could it be that if you don't succeed... Oh, hang on. There's recyclable there. Hang on. Discard the military directive card if it is not recyclable. If it is recyclable... Oh, no, it is different. Hang on then. So I'm on... zoom out a bit there. We're on page 22. And this is like military directive objectives check. So the bit I was just reading there first was if all the objectives in the active military directive card have been achieved, apply the effects in its success box, then discard the military directive card. Well, that's what... Just get the card back. The objectives were to take Damascus. We've done that. However, down here it says if not all the objectives in the active military directive card have been achieved, and this is the last operations phase of the turn, flip to the question side, blah blah blah. The AG heads that participated, and then it said discard the military directive card if it is not recyclable. If it is recyclable, the card remains available for the rest of the year. Okay, so that's if we've not achieved it. So I don't think we do that. Going by that, it means we do discard this. Ooh, okay. Well, glad I read that. So that means I can't bring this back. Because, yeah, true, the objective is Damascus. I guess it's... Well, why would you be putting a combat pawn in Area 28? You get one combat pawn. That's not making sense to me. And you can either put it in area 16, which is the Middle East, or 28. Oh, well, you can, if you're coming from Libya. It must be if you're coming from Libya, I think. Right, okay. Well, I'm going to actually discard the card then. Doesn't look like I can do what I was saying there. Interesting. Hopefully somebody comments on that and says, yes, you're right, Grant. You discard the card because you've completed the objective. The fact it's recyclable was making me think I could put it back because it then gives me the opportunity to go for Egypt. Oh, what was the card called though? It's Invasion in the Middle East, isn't it? But if it's Invasion in the Middle East, how can you put a pawn in here? That's not the Middle East, is it? Well, yeah, nah, I don't know. Right, okay. Slightly confused by that, but anyway, military directives check finished. We've got a supply check. All right. Oh, I was going to say, because this is important, this, isn't it? Well, because it was down at 2 there. Oh, I'm going to be really annoyed now if I've taken that hit and I shouldn't. It could have been at 5. Right, so we're going to check for supply here again. So it's a +4 for that. Yeah, because that would have been a guarantee, wouldn't it? If that had been +5, because we're still getting the +1 for Crete. Yeah. So, you can check it in your cards, Grant. Yeah, so +4, +1 for Crete. And we don't have Egypt, and we do have Southern Italy. So +5 and we need a 7. Yeah, so again, as long as it's not 1, which is unfortunately what we rolled the last time. There we go. Hey, at last. Right, good. So now, what do we do? The port is open, otherwise the port is closed. So the port is open. Oh, this should have went away as well. Yeah, I knew I was going to forget that. After the Western offensive, pawns have been removed. We remove that. Yeah. That's a wee box up there, isn't it? I think there's something missing from there. There should be a Soviet one as well, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So the isolated marker comes away, or does this turn over to naval supply? I think that must go like that. Right, you're saying you think that, oh, I'm at the right bit. Hang on. Place an isolated marker in the army's box. Remove the isolated marker from areas that are now found to have land or naval supply. An area has naval... Yeah, so it just basically flips over to naval supply again. So now we do have the opportunity. Remember, we can have one German army in here. The only thing is that I came across that rule that said that we can only move one army into an area with a naval supply. However, that's movement. Could I be right in possibly saying that we could put a Wehrmacht replacement directly into there now? I think maybe we could. Well, that's something to think about. So I think everything else is... Nah. Right, okay, it's me back. There's nothing worse when I'm in alone and that bell goes, because I'm up in the attic. It's a trek. Anyway, I'm out of puff. Right, so that was the supply check. Everything else is okay still. I don't believe there's any issues there. Yeah, no, that's fine. So, and then end segment, victory check. Yeah, nothing to check yet. So, where are we? That was a winter of 1941. So we're now going to move into the spring of 1941. And the administrative phase and the bombing of Germany. Which I wouldn't mind carrying on a little bit more, can I? Maybe. Oh, to be honest, I had 12 minutes already. Oh, I might be able to cut out. I don't know, it was only a few seconds, Grant. I'll probably end up not cutting that bit out, so you'll just wonder what's going on until I explain. It's just when I moved, I think I went to cut the video off and it started recording again when I moved it. It's where I plug the phone into. So, yeah. Well, I suppose I should start another part. I do have another maybe 15-20 minutes. So I could get it started at least. Hang on. yeah, let's just cut that as a shortish part, and then I can start another little bit, get it started at least. Since we're moving on to the spring. Okay, so I'll be back with part 16 shortly. Cheers.